Today we're doing another gaming video on the MacBook Air 2020. I've always wanted to know what's it like to game on a thin machine, and the MacBooks do set the standard for quality and thinness, and I really just want to know how good can these machines game. I have done quite a lot of testing on the 2015 MacBook Air and Pro, and even the 12-inch MacBook, so if you're interested in that, take a look in the cards up top to the right there. So if there's a particular game you guys want me to test on this 2020 MacBook Air, please leave a comment down below and I'll definitely be testing it for you guys. We'll be discussing the pros and cons of gaming on the MacBook Air, and we'll find out if it's right for you. All right, let's get into the gaming tests. Looks kind of like Overwatch.
Welcome to Valorant.
Oh hey, it runs.
I'll be taking you through some training so we can get you out in the field.
Hey, it's Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop.
Have no fear of death. It just means dreaming in silence. A dream that lasts for eternity.
You're an original, aren't you?
What's your name?
Spike Spiegel. What do you want to know?
Awesome. Well, holy crap, look, the game actually runs.
This base is still getting cleaned up. Jump and crawl your way to that gun.
Let's be this interesting mage lady. This guy's pretty cool. I'll just stick with the lady for now. See how long the queue times will take. That's something that they've always been pretty terrible with. Gets you in the game quick. I like that. Always waiting around in League of Legends. Wow, you can kill really easily in this game. Alrighty. Let's see if we can win. Buy phase? Whoa, so it's like Counter-Strike. Yeah. You're buying stuff. Whoa. What is this? Abilities? Huh. Well, I'll stick with the default for now. It's like Overwatch and Counter-Strike put together. And TF2. I guess those are the target markets that they're trying to influence. Wow, 1 minute and 30 seconds, huh? Oh, that's a different type of timer. Nice, got a kill. Alright, first blood. Uh-oh. What is going on here? Location revealed. Trapwire active. Uh-oh. Ooh, right before planting too. What do you know? Surprised it doesn't look like there's any ragdoll. It's like they're just like death animations. You like die really fast. Seriously, how do they manage to get it to look so dang good? Even with like just absolute minimum graphics. Like, they figured it out. They got it running. Oh, did not buy my weapons fast enough. That's what happens.
The laptop gets about 52 dBA while playing an intense game. It does get loud. Maybe not as loud as a gaming machine, but it does, and it also gets hot. If you have the funds, absolutely get the 16GB RAM upgrade. First, once you have that, and if you need additional storage down the road, you can always get an external drive. If you have additional funds, consider upgrading the storage 1 or 2 tiers above the base model. This will give you a huge advantage when it's time to resell the Mac or when you need more space. Remember, the MacBook is not upgradable. So I use an iFixit kit to take apart this machine. It's nice because it has all the screws you might need, including ones that you don't normally find, like the pentalobe that I have to deal with on this MacBook. The MacBook design is extremely elegant. It's very compact, and the motherboard takes about 1/8 the size of the whole computer. Very impressive stuff. Reminds me of the 12-inch MacBook quite a bit. Everything is so neatly organized, tightly packed, very elegant to look at. Honestly, will not find anything like this anywhere else. This one little tiny fan cools the whole system. It basically pushes the air out of the system, and then it's passively pushed into the system in the reverse vent at the top right, and then that cold air passes through the heatsink. Very surprising to see no heat pipe going directly from the CPU to the fan. Okay, so here's my setup for the Mac gaming. Essentially, I have a controller. This is going to really help reduce the input lag for a lot of games, especially games like GTA 5. I've got a hub to plug in my SSD and my mouse. This SSD is a Samsung SSD, the T3. They also have a T5 available now. Great for storing your games. It's really quick. And then a cheap $20 Logitech mouse. And I got Windows installed. So if you are going to game, definitely get Windows installed. And I'll show you how to do that in this video. So this is what the Xbox One controller looks like. It's really comfortable. It's got really nice clicky buttons, great feel. Definitely a must-have if you're a gamer, especially because gaming with a keyboard can sometimes be a little glitchy and laggy. So I highly recommend you guys pick one of these up. I'll have links in the description. And then here's a quick overview of the hub. It's got HDMI, it's got Ethernet, it's got pretty much everything you need. And I've been using it for a while. I do have a dedicated review of this product as well, so if you guys want to take a quick peek at that. Comes with 3 USB ports, a fast charging port. You got micro SD and standard SD card slots, and even an additional USB-C power port to charge the hub or to give it more power, because sometimes some hubs require more power if you're doing many things like powering monitors and that kind of thing. So yeah, it just kind of plugs in, and then I plug in all my other peripherals directly into it. I do like this T3 Samsung SSD drive a lot. I've been using it for many years without any issues. If you guys need additional storage, highly recommend these Samsung T3 drives. I just cannot say enough good things about these drives. There is also a really cool hub that I got from directly from the Apple Store. It's a decent little hub. This one is special because it supports 2 monitors. Now I did have a dual monitor setup. I don't use this anymore, so this hub is kind of obsolete, but Apple does sell decent hubs. You could consider getting one from them as well. So you either want to game or you want to install an application that requires Windows. So the first thing you want to think about is how much available storage you have. So I have the 1 terabyte version, so I'm not going to have too many storage issues. So get the most storage possible when getting these MacBooks, because if you're going to install Windows on it, you're going to have to split this drive in half. Search for the Boot Camp Assistant, and let's go ahead and open that up, and I'll guide you through the process. So click Continue. And now in this area, this is where you're going to select how big your Windows partition is and how big your Mac OS partition. So as you can see, the bigger the Windows, the smaller the Mac. So where are you going to be putting most of your files? If it's going to be mostly gaming and it's going to be mostly on Windows, make the Windows partition large. If you still need to video edit in Mac OS or do other Mac OS type tasks, maybe you want to do it kind of more in the middle. It really depends on you, and if you have an external drive, maybe you just want to go straight in the middle and not worry too much about who gets more space. And sometimes you might run into issues where you thought you needed more Windows space, but actually you need more Mac OS space. So maybe going somewhere in the middle really is the way to go about this. The next thing we're going to want to do is get an ISO. An ISO is basically just an image of a specific file, and what we need to do is we need to get a Windows ISO. So we're going to go to the Microsoft website and we're going to get a Windows ISO directly from Microsoft. And so the reason why you want to do this is because you want to ensure it doesn't have any viruses. So don't get the ISO from anywhere else but the Microsoft website. Okay, so go ahead and type in Windows ISO, and then usually if it's from the Microsoft website, it should be good to go. We're going to click on that, and now we're going to download our Windows 10 disk image. All right, so we're going to scroll down, we're going to select Windows 10, we're going to confirm it, and then on the next screen, we're going to want to confirm 64-bit. Kind of funny that it asks you all these questions. It should just always be 64-bit at this point.
All right, so let's go ahead and select the product language. So select your language. Obviously I speak English, so I'm gonna select that. I'm gonna confirm it. And then once that's complete, then we're gonna select 64-bit if you got more than 4 gigabytes of RAM. Alrighty. And then get a little question that asks me, do you want to download this from Microsoft? Yes, I do. Okay, and now we're downloading the ISO. So once the ISO is completed downloading here in this bottom right-hand tray, I should be able to continue on from Boot Camp. Now we're also going to plug in our power because without it being plugged in, we risk the battery dying during the install, which could ruin everything. If that happens, it could literally corrupt your Windows install and you just have to restart from the beginning. It would be a hassle. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to select our ISO once it's done downloading, and it'll be in your downloads tray. So I have it selected here. I'm going to click open, and I'm going to click install. So now what it's going to do is it's going to grab that ISO and it's going to get us important drivers and other software for the ISO. Now I'm fast forwarding this part. This part takes a good sometimes 10, 15, maybe even 30 minutes. This whole part, I completely fast forwarded it. And now what it's going to do is it's going to restart the machine automatically for me. And we're going to just go through the Windows prompts. So when it restarts, initially it almost tries to boot as Mac, but then it's like, okay, we're trying to boot into Windows. So now it's doing the Windows installation. So what we've done is we've mounted the ISO and now we're running directly from the ISO. So now we can actually use the ISO to install Windows. So downloading the ISO and mounting the ISO, you haven't really done much. You've just gotten the ISO to do its job, and now the ISO is mounted. So now we're going to actually install Windows. So to install Windows, select your languages, click next. And it's going to ask for a product key. We don't have one. We're not going to worry about this because we're just trying to play games on Windows. Nothing crazy here. Just click you don't have one and then select Windows 10 Pro and click next. All right, got that selected. Pushing next. And remember guys, I'm always here if you have questions. Do not hesitate to leave a comment below. I'm always here to help you guys out. I do want this to be a great tech channel. All right, make sure you read the end user license agreement because if you don't, then all your information will be stolen. That's what usually happens in these agreements. You're just agreeing that all your information will be stolen and sold to other companies. Yeah, usually nobody reads those, but you should actually try reading those. Okay, so now we're copying the Windows files. We're getting the files ready for installation. We're installing features, installing updates, and we're going to finish this next part up. So it is finishing up, and here we are. So the computer restarts, and then this whole part also takes another 15 minutes. And then now it's done. And keep in mind, it takes 15 minutes if you have good internet. If you have slow internet, it could take 30 minutes. All right, so here we're just pressing next, selecting our language, selecting our keyboard. Yes, skip. So it definitely wants an internet connection. You don't necessarily have to do that, but it does make it kind of quicker for the whole process. Plus, you're going to need to update as soon as you install Windows. So usually I think it's better to just have internet connection. I usually try to do it without. Then it wants you to create a password, create one, and then choose your privacy settings. So normally I would say delete all of these or just say no on all of them. But there may be some you might be interested in, like the location services one. But honestly, I would just say no on all of them. And Cortana is kind of annoying, but I think I left it enabled. Okay, so now it's just kind of setting it up, doing some more installations. It's almost there. Okay, so now we're booted into Windows. So here I am in Windows. Now this prompt here is pretty important. This is your drivers. So Boot Camp wants to get you drivers for your Windows. And so what it's doing is it's getting drivers specifically for the MacBook Air keys, like the brightness control, the volume control, And so it's just going to make your Mac experience much more fluid. We definitely want to do this. Going to click install, going to scroll down on the end user license agreement, and we're just going to let it do its thing. And once it's all installed, you just restart your PC and you're pretty much done and good to go. Okay, it's done. It does recommend a restart. I don't think you necessarily have to do this, but some of your stuff might not work properly if you don't do it, so you might as well just do it. Okay, now that it's installed, we can go ahead and get Steam installed, and then from there, that's it. You'll basically have Windows and you'll have your Steam. So when you want to switch back to Mac OS, all you do is you restart the computer and you hold down the Option key and select Mac OS. So here I'm showing you how to get Steam. So I just search for Steam in Google, and then I click on download Steam on the Steam website, click yes on these prompts because I am installing it. And essentially what I'm doing here is I'm just getting Steam running properly on my Windows machine. And if you guys have questions about how to get this working, I mean, I do show you how to do it here, but it does move kind of quickly. So if you have questions, don't hesitate to let me know. I had a few issues where I tried to install the Steam, but it just like wasn't downloading. I'm not really sure why. Anyway, so now it's working. I'm gonna click run here, and we're gonna install Steam. Once you install Steam, you will get a prompt that'll ask you, log into existing or log in or create an account. If you have an account, obviously log into the existing account. If not, just go ahead and create an account. Okay, so here I'm gonna go ahead and get logged in. So now I'm logged in, and so yeah, here I am. So now I can download all my games, and I can essentially play all the games that I don't normally have the ability to play on Mac OS. So I finally got it running, and yeah, so that's how you get Windows on your Mac. So here I'm adding my hard drive because my hard drive has all the games. I selected it. I got about half a terabyte of games. You might not need to do this if you're installing or if you're getting all your games directly on your drive. But yeah, as you can see, I got a bunch of games here. So I'm going to be testing all these games out. If you guys want me to test a specific game in Windows or in Mac OS, definitely let me know in the comment section below and subscribe. Alright, so here I am on Windows playing GTA 5, and this is how you get GTA 5 on your Mac. So yeah, if you guys have questions, let me know. The other thing that's kind of useful is a program called Ninite. So what I do is I go to this website called Ninite, and it allows me to select all of the applications that I find useful. So I search for Ninite, then I scroll down and I check all the apps that are useful. So there's Chrome, there's browsers, imaging, documents, messaging, media, runtime, security. This is pretty useful. Like Classic Start allows you to bring back the Classic Start button. There's a lot of really useful stuff. Take a look here. Maybe you guys will find something useful here to use. This is so useful after a fresh install of Windows. I come here every time after my fresh install of Windows. Very useful. Get my OpenOffice, get my VLC, get my torrenting applications, and you can even grab Steam here. Pretty awesome stuff.